I'm Doug here at Global West, and today what I'm going to talk about is a Moser differential, and we make a SP47M, which is this upper bearing kit right here, to go into a Moser. The M stands for Moser. And what I want to talk to you about is the installation of the 47M. Now, this is the kit, and on a Moser, when they do their 10 bolt and 12 bolt differentials, where the rubber bushing presses into the top eye, this is what is originally designed for that. And the width is a little wider here than a conventional 10 or 12 bolt Chevy rear end. But Moser made theirs a little wider, so that's why we have the M. Well, when you do a 9-inch for the same application, and by the way, what we're talking about here is 64 to 72 A-bodies. When you do the 9-inch, there's a housing that is welded up here for the ear, okay, for the upper control arm. And on the Moser, they've got it set up for the standard rubber bushing, and you might be able to see that right here. This rubber bushing only protrudes past about 100 thousandths, okay? Well, when we put this type of product in here that's got the bearing, it allows for articulation of the differential. Now, we've done several videos, and you may want to pick up on that on one of our how to free up the rear suspension on an A-body. There's a video showing these, how they operate. Well, on this particular application, when they do the 9-inch, this housing is too wide for articulation, because there's only 100 thousandths here past the rubber bushing, okay? That becomes a problem. And the other thing too is when this goes on, there's a retaining ring, as you see that threads on here. And when I install this, the threads are flush with the end of the housing. So obviously this is not going to work, because this has to thread on to tighten the housing in, you know, our SP47M housing, into the differential. So you can see how this is going to be a problem, where on the standard 10 and 12 bolt that Moser makes, this fits perfectly, okay? So how are we going to address this? Well, what we have to do is we have to shorten this housing at the top here. The width of this housing, if you took an overall dimension of the housing itself, has to be 1 inch 100 to 1 inch 150 thousandths. These are 1 inch 500 thousandths. So we need to take 3/8 of an inch to 400 thousandths. 3/8 of an inch is 375, up to 400 thousandths off the length of this housing to make it work, to give us more articulation, okay? So this, and even to install the kit. So what we want to do is we want to show you how we're going to do that and how we're going to install this kit. So we're going to take this differential housing to the shop in the back, and we're going to shorten these up. That's how we're going to make the SP47M work. Let's go back to the shop. One of the first things we want to do is spray some blue Dykem onto our housings, because we're going to have to mark the housings. So one way of doing that is to take your calipers, set it up on the correct dimension, 1.145, and go ahead and put a slight line into the housing. Once the housing has the line, we're going to take a Sawzall and we're going to cut not quite on the line, but just a little bit of distance from it, so that we have room to clean it up. We're going to use a grinder, and we're going to buff the housing down to the line so we can smooth it out and also control that, so we don't have any sharp edges. Once we get the housing cleared, recheck your measurement, make sure you're good, and go ahead and deburr the inside of the housing, and you're ready to go. Okay, so now you got an idea how we go ahead and install the SP47M kit in a 9-inch Moser. Remember, this dimension needs to be 1.1 to 1.150 width. It allows the threads to protrude past so that the locking ring will hold the assembly together. Not that difficult to do. Something you're going to have to do if you have this width issue here. Now remember, if you had a 10 bolt or a 12 bolt from Moser, which is what the SP47M was originally designed for, the width is perfect. You don't have anything to do other than just install it. So that's it. That's the SP47M installed on a Moser 9. The tricks you need to know to make it work.